What is up, guys? It's been some time, and today I'm going to go ahead and show you guys and teach you how to read price action. And the main reason why I'm going to show you guys and teach you how to read price action is mainly because you need to understand the language of trading. The language of trading is literally price action. You know, when you want to go ahead and go to a different country and they speak a different language, if they're telling you directions but you don't know the language, you might get there, but you're more likely going to get lost, right? Because you don't understand the language. Right here in Forex and analyzing the market, the language is price action, so why not understand the language? Then we have direction, right? To understand the direction is going to be market structure. But for right now, price action is what I want to show you guys. So with that said, guys, let's get to it.
Yeah, people knowing that we lit, nigga, they knowing that we lit.
Before I get into the whole video, I will be closing my S&G private group, so if you guys want to join, feel free to do so. The link's going to be down below. It closes on October 19th. Actually, I'm not going to be on social media on Instagram since October 18th because I'm going to be providing a lot of information on here for you guys on YouTube. So you guys will be seeing a lot of information on this YouTube channel, a lot of information on my other YouTube channel. So if you guys want to go ahead and see those education channels, go ahead and click down below. The links will be down there as well.
Yeah. Money coming in, people knowing that we lit. Do it for the fam, we gon' die for this shit. It's some real ties when we pull up with the click. It ain't no surprise, they gon' love you when you rich. Money coming in, people knowing that we lit. Do it for the fam, we gon' die for this shit.
Price action patterns. What are the price action patterns that I take into consideration? So hope you guys have a pen and notebook because we're gonna be talking about price action. So first candle that we look at is hammer, right? Hammers are gonna go ahead and help us identify what's happening inside the market. So hammer identifies at the lows of the market with bullish momentum created a wick of exhaustion and bullish closure. Okay, and we're gonna talk about this later on within this session. Now the next thing that we can go ahead and identify is going to be what? It's gonna be a 3 candle bearish variation. Okay, that's gonna be another candle that we're gonna be looking at. Also, what else are we going to be looking at? We're going to be looking at the inverted, which is going to be the bullish. So we'll see the 3 candle bearish variation and as well as the bullish. So I'm going to write that down. Bullish. Okay, so those are some of the candles that we're going to be looking at, and then going into more details, we're going to see the 4 candle bullish variation, the 4 candle bearish and bullish. We're going to look for bearish engulfing. We're going to be looking for bearish Maribosu, and so on and so on. So let's get in detail. So let's go over here and start getting this going. So to start off, we're going to be looking at our hammer. Okay. Now, what is exactly that we're looking at a hammer? Understand that hammer is going to be a bullish candle. Now, you will be able to see that the hammer has very low, volume. And it really finishes off looking like a hammer. Okay, so this right here, you'll be able to identify that this is a potential hammer. Now, hammers are going to be located at the bottom of the market. Now, you don't want to locate these at the top or nothing. You want to locate these at the bottom of the market. Okay, so once you're able to identify this, we're going to be able to know that this right here is considered a hammer. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that down. At the end of this, we're going to go ahead and talk about some market, see what the market's doing. But I want you guys to understand this whole theory, because if you guys are able to understand the whole trading aspect, understanding price action, and so on, it will be way, way better for when it is that you guys actually start looking at the charts. Okay, so the hammer, what happens with the hammer? Okay, we identify this. We identify our hammer at low points of the market, or also known at lows of the market, with bullish momentum, creating a wick of exhaustion and bullish closure. Okay. A wick of exhaustion and bullish closure. So we are always going to be looking for this type of movement in the market, and we're at the bottom of the market. So if we're seeing a bearish structure, we obviously want to look for that change of momentum, breaking our previous structure. And then when market's coming back down, we are going to tend to look for this type of price action at the bottom, right? At our higher lows. Okay, so you want to identify these on bullish market structure. And you'll be able to identify in these areas of the market, which will go ahead and give you much more confidence to buy into the market. Okay, so that is a hammer, and what is that you're going to be identifying this particular candle. Now, when it comes to the next candle, it's going to be our 3 candle variation. Now, understand that a 3 candle variation is conformed by 3 candles. First candle, bullish. Second candle, bullish. And third candle, bearish. Okay, so when it comes to this whole aspect, there's certain rules on this. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what are these rules that we look for. So also understand that when it comes to the whole patterns, what you will identify is wicks in the market. Okay, you'll be able to identify some wicks right over here, some wicks right over here, you know, and all these candles. You'll usually identify some type of wicks. So when it comes to this whole aspect, understand that this is our 3 candle variation. So let's go ahead and write that down. This is our 3 bears. These are 3 candle bears variation. Okay, now when it comes to the 3 candle bears variation, it has a rule. Now what is that rule that the 3 candle bears variation has? It is conformed, okay? So you got to confirm this 3 bears variation. It's conformed by 2 bullish candles and 1 bearish candle. Okay, now you got to understand that when you are looking at this and seeing that it is a bullish variation, for some reason this is not fixing. Let's see this real quick. Okay, so conformed by 2 bullish candles and 1 bearish candle. Now the bearish candle must overcome 70% or more from the overall move. Okay, so it must conform. It must take over 70% or more from the overall move. So as you can see, this candle right here is taking over more than 70% of this overall move. Now what is that overall move? This whole movement right here. Okay, so this bearish candle is overcoming 70% or more from the overall move, and that is the 3 candle variation. Now when it comes to this candle variation, we spot it in certain areas in the market. Now what are these areas in the market that we're going to be spotting this? When it comes to this 3 candle variation, since it is bearish, we are going to be looking for it on what type of market structure. We're going to be looking at it for bearish market structure and at the top of our areas. So it's going to be in these areas. Now when we get into the whole institutional terminology, yes, we'll be able to actually identify these much faster, but what it does, it helps you confirm how much longer you're going to go ahead and maintain a certain trade. So understand that the price action is going to give you that that confidence when it comes to maintaining a trade. It's really important for you to understand that how long it is that you can maintain a trade is based off of the confidence that you'll be able to have by the market. How many times has it happened that you are looking at a chart over and over and over because you don't know if it's going to keep on going up or if it's going to keep on going down? This is where price action comes in hand, where you're able to identify all these patterns, the ones that we're talking about the day today, so that way you guys can go ahead and have a full comprehension of what's going on. Now when it comes to this aspect, you have the 3 candle bearish variation the same way you have what? The same way you will go ahead and have our inverse Okay, now what would be our inverse? The inverse would be 3 candle bullish variation. Okay, so 3 candle bullish variation would be 2 bearish candles. It's confirmed by 2 bearish candles and 1 bullish candle. And this would be our 3 candle bullish variation, confirmed by 2 bearish candles and 1 bullish candle. And 1 bullish candle. So confirmed by 2 bearish candles and 1 bullish candle. When the bullish candle must overcome 70% or more from the overall move. Okay, and as far as this, we are looking for a overall uptrend. Okay, so we look for this pattern when the market's going up. So we're going to tend to look for these in our market structure when it comes to our higher lows. Okay, that's going to be the areas where you're going to start looking for them in these areas, this area, or these areas. It's going to help us understand for how much longer this trade can maintain, for how much longer we can go ahead and continue with this movement within the market. Okay, so it's going to give us much more understanding when it comes to the whole trading aspect. Now, I want to go ahead and show you guys the following pair. Okay, the following patterns that I look at and I pay attention to. So we have the 3 candle bearish variation, the 3 candle bullish variation. Next, going into this is going to be pretty much the similar, but the difference here is that it's not conformed by 3 candles, but instead of 3 candles, it's going to be conformed by 4 candles. When it comes to this, you might be able to see that this candle might go a little bit lower, and then you'll go ahead and have another bullish candle in this area. Now this bullish candle can go ahead and do 70% or more, or sometimes it's even a little bit higher. So this right here would be your 4 candle bullish variation. It's conformed by 2 bearish candles and 2 bullish candles. Okay, same terminology, same aspect as far as here. These candles right here, the bullish candles must overcome 70% or more from the overall move. So meaning that if this was to be over here, this would still be valid. Okay, that would still be a valid 4 candle bullish variation. So all we look for is for it to overcome at least 70% or more from the overall move. In this case, that is overcoming 70% or more. Let me go ahead and fix this real quick. So it's overcoming 70% or more. And if we were to go higher, well, it's even better. Okay, this is going to help us have better confirmation as far as where it is and how far we can maintain a trade. Now going over here, same areas we look for them. We look for them on our higher lows. Okay, we're going to be looking for our higher lows for us to be able to identify the full movement and see how much further up we can go ahead and maintain this trade. So as far as that, we also have the opposite. And the opposite would be what? The opposite would be the 4 candle bearish variation. So we have the 4 candle bearish variation. Okay, it's conformed by 2 bearish candles, 2 bullish candles first, and 2 bearish candles. We have the same concept inverted. So in this case, we'll go ahead and look at the first 2 candles are bullish, and then the second 2 candles will be bearish. This will help us identify that momentum is shifting from bullish perspective to a bearish perspective. Not just that, we have much more momentum, much more volume. Therefore, we're able to maintain the trade for much longer when it comes to handling the trade and keeping it running. Okay, so this is a 4 candle bearish variation. This is all these patterns I'm mentioning. Again, these are patterns that I look at, so that way I know for how much longer I'm going to maintain the trade. Now, when it comes to the trades that are being sent out through Steady Swift and so on, and you guys will be able to see for how much longer we're able to maintain these swing trades, including it helps us understand when to take out a trade. Okay, so pay real close attention to all these price action, and I suggest every single one of you guys that are seeing this video and are going to see the recording to go ahead and write these candles down, because when you guys write these candles down and actually start practicing on the charts, it's going to be so much more simpler for you guys and so much more easier to be able to analyze what's happening in the market. Okay, so we have the 4 candle bearish variation and the 4 candle bullish variation. Now the next thing is going to be something that many individuals already are able to spot, but also it's very important for you guys to understand why this happens and what is the full concept. So this right here would be considered as a bearish engulfing candle. Okay, when it comes to bearish engulfing candle, understand there is a way to understand if this is a confirmed bearish engulfing candle to a not confirmed bearish engulfing candle. Many individuals believe that a bearish engulfing candle would be something like this, when it's not. Many people would think this is bearish engulfing candle. This is not a bearish engulfing candle. A bearish engulfing candle is this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and type this out and show you guys a bearish engulfing candle, what it is conformed by. Okay, so bearish engulfing candle is conformed by 1, which is the bearish candle, but understand that the bearish engulfing candle must overcome 2 or more candles. So bearish engulfing candle must overcome 2 or more previous candles. So it must overcome 2 or more previous candles. So as you guys can see, what's happening? This candle right here is bearish, but it's engulfing because it's not engulfing just 1 but 2 candles, and they're the previous candles prior to this. So it's overcoming 2 candles. This helps us understand that there's momentum. Now, me personally, I do not like to enter right when I see this. I know many people like to enter off of that. Me personally, I like to wait for a retracement, at least a 50% retracement of this candle, right? So 50% retracement, I would go ahead and see for some retracement around here, and then potentially look for those entry areas. Okay, in case if I was not able to catch this whole entry, this whole movement. But as far as this, it helps us understand that market is shifting. There's a lot of momentum, and overall, it's having that big push and giving us that certainty to maintain a trade running. Okay, so again, a bearish engulfing candle is conformed by 1 candle that is surpassing, overcoming 2 or more previous candles. Now those previous candles can be either bullish candles, they can be in the same area, bearish, bullish, and so on and so on. But you need to understand that it needs to overcome 2 or more candles. If it does not overcome 2 or more candles, it is not a valid bearish engulfing candle. And where do we look for these? We looked at them at the top of the market. Okay, or also understanding that these can be considered in areas of consolidation that are just helping us understand that the shift in momentum is coming. Now, as far as that, there's also the inverted, which is going to be the bullish engulfing candle. Now, the bullish engulfing candle is the same scenario. We have 1 candle that is surpassing 2 or more candles. So in this case, we're going to be seeing that this right here would be considered as the bullish engulfing candle. And when it comes to this bullish engulfing candle, we're going to be looking for bullish candle must overcome 2 or more previous candles. So this bullish candle is overcoming 2 previous candles, which makes it a valid bullish engulfing candle. Now this next one, okay, it's going to look very, very similar, and many of you might get confused, but understand that this difference does make a huge, huge difference, okay, which is what? This is going to be a bullish Mariposa, okay, bullish Mariposa candle. When it comes to bullish Mariposa candle, what's the difference? It's full of momentum. This candle, okay, it doesn't necessarily need to overcome 2 candles. It doesn't necessarily need to do nothing. It can do this, and that can be a bullish Mariposa candle. So now when it comes to bullish Mariposa candle, what does this mean? That means that the bullish Mariposa are made with momentum. Therefore, you will see little to no wick on the top of the candle. Okay, these are full of momentum. You will see little to no wick on top of the candle, meaning that there's a huge amount of buying pressure, and more than likely the next candle will continue on being buying pressure, and so on and so on. Now when that happens, we are much more confident of our trading position. So pretty much, again, what we're talking about today is price action. When you're able to identify price action and comprehend what price action is telling you, you're going to be able to go ahead and handle your emotions much more better. Understand that trading is 80% psychological, 20% is skill set, right? It's technical. 20% is technical. Out of that technical aspect, 10 of it is knowing, is it going up or is it going down? Meaning that the 10% that is resting aside is skill. So in reality, you are already winning. And the fastest way to win is to understand that your psychological aspect is really important. So again, this right here is a bullish Mariposa candle. Bullish Mariposa candles are showing you that it's full of momentum. Therefore, it will have little to no wick at the top, meaning that there's a lot of shift of momentum. There's a lot of buying pressure, and therefore, more than likely, we'll see a continuation in the market. Okay, it gives you certainty, it gives you that confidence to maintain a trade. Next thing is going to be what? Exactly opposite, because understand that everything is going to have an opposite. So in this case, we'll be seeing a bearish Mariposa candle. And the bearish Mariposa candle, same scenario. What do we have? The same scenario. We have a bearish Mariposa are made with momentum. Therefore, you will see little to no wick on what? On the bottom of the candle. So in this case, this candle is not red, not green, but red, and this one is not red, but green. And we have little to no wick on the bottom, meaning that therefore we will more than likely have a continuation within that bearish movement. It is full of momentum, and again, where do we spot these? At the top or anywhere within the market. Okay, this helps us understand that there's still momentum. Okay, this does not mean that it has to be at the top. It can be in the middle, it can be at the bottom. It's shifting momentum. It's meaning that there's a lot of momentum within it. Therefore, you have a lot more confidence on what can potentially happen with the market and how far more it can go into it. Okay, now there's another one that many of you guys might relate to. Okay, now what is this other one that many of you guys might relate to and might already know? So this right here, I'm gonna go ahead and put this black. Okay, I'm going to put this black. Why? Because this right here is our doji. Now, what is doji, right? What is doji and what can you identify? So when it comes to this candle right here, this doji. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and write it down. Doji. What are we seeing with this doji? Which is important, right? Many people see them in the market. Sometimes you don't see them, but you know, sometimes you question yourself, what's going on with this? This is identified when there is few to no volume and has exhaustion. Wicks from both sides. Okay. So identified when there is few to no volume and it has exhaustion wicks from both sides. So meaning that within this candle, it's pretty much telling us that it's almost an indecision candle. Okay. The only difference is that it is one. So I like to consider this doji as no price, right? This doji is telling me that there's pretty much no price in the market, and therefore, since there's no price, more than likely it'll either continue going up or continue on going down. So I don't like to take analysis based off of this. Now, if I go ahead and see this, in this case, I go ahead and see a green and a red, and they look like dojis, but they have some volume in there. What would this be considered? This would be considered an indecision candle. Okay. Now this I don't know why this thing is doing that. Now this indecision candle, what is it telling you? Okay. This indecision candle identified when candles has very few volume and exhaustion wicks. Okay. So when there is very few volume and has an exhaustion wicks from both sides. Okay. So we don't really know what can happen, right? We don't really know if this is going to continue on going up or continue on going down. It is indecisive. So therefore, what we usually like to do is to analyze on lower time frames. What's going on here? Why is it indecision? When will it have a decision, right? And usually when it gets a decision, it's usually a bearish Maribosu that comes out, or a bullish Maribosu that comes out. You understand, when it has less no volume, but it has these exhaustion wicks, there's also liquidity being created, which is pressure. But we gotta understand what type of pressure is the one that's gonna come out, the bullish pressure, the buying pressure. And that is what we do when it comes to indecision candle. We leave them alone and we analyze and we go in depth as far as what can potentially happen with that pair, okay, with that pattern. Now the next one right here is one that I like to spot a lot, right? And this will be considered as a shooting star. Now when it comes to a shooting star, what is it that we're looking for? Okay, identify when there is few volume and has exhaustion wicks from the top. Okay, with a bearish closure. Okay, so it looks very similar to the hammer. Okay, but if it was this one can go ahead and you can have some a little bit more volume. This wick is more than likely, usually big, or in this case could be right here, medium size or big. So pretty much when it comes to this pattern, I like to see at the top of the market, right? Where? In bearish momentum, in bearish price action, right? So and this means that if we find this on bearish market structure, we're going to be looking for it in certain areas, such as these ones up here. Okay, we're going to be looking at it in those areas, so that way we can go ahead and identify that price action. Because remember, price action tells you everything. This is telling you that there's a shift of momentum from bullish price action to bearish price action. Okay. The bearish candle do not need the engulfing. The previous, no, yeah. So sorry, I just got to your question right now. The bearish candle, no, it's not necessary to have engulfing candle. So bearish, the Maribosu candle can be just full of momentum. And don't worry, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys some examples in the chart itself, so we just can go ahead and get familiar with this. And then there's patterns when it comes to this, right? What are those patterns? You can go ahead and say a bearish engulfing Maribosu, a bullish engulfing Maribosu. You can say a 3 candle variation with a bullish engulfing Maribosu, right? So when you're able to go ahead and put a lot of these patterns together and squeeze them in one, your analysis is much stronger. Okay, so for now, this is a shooting star. Identify when there is few volume and has exhaustion work from the top with a bearish closure. That is when we identify that bullish, shooting star. Now coming to my favorite ones. Sorry, let me go ahead and put this Telegram unmuted. I get way too many. Sorry about that, guys. Might be a little bit annoying. Sure is getting annoying for me right now. Okay, let's go ahead and mute this real quick. For an hour. Cool. So this next one is one of my favorite ones. Okay, but understand that it has certain rules. Now, okay, let's go. Yeah, let's go to this next one, which is one of my favorite ones. When it comes to price action. Now, this right here is considered as an evening star. Okay, what is an evening star? An evening star is considered when you find 3 candles, right? In this case, you can say 2 candles are bullish. You can say that this candle is bullish or bearish. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and put this one bullish all the way up over here. And this one side right here. So this is going to be our evening star. Now, what is our evening star conformed by? Our evening star is conformed by 2 candles. Okay, so it's conformed by 3 candles, sorry. One candle is going to be the bullish candle. In this case, we're going to have one candle is bullish. The second candle can be one of 3. What is that one of 3? When it comes to this one of 3, it can either be doji, shooting star, or indecision. Okay. Now understand that the next one is also really important. What's the next thing that I need? Sorry about that. There we go. And the third candle must overcome 70% or more from the overall move. Okay, and there you have what is your evening star. So when it comes to the evening star, you gotta understand that this candle, the third one, can be right here. This is our evening star. It's conformed by one bullish candle. Second candle can be one of 3, doji, shooting star, or indecision candle. In this case, I went ahead and put a shooting star. And the third candle must overcome 70% or more. So in this case, we can see that the overall move is within this region right here, is within this region right here. Okay, so 50% is about here, 70% is around here. So we can see that this candle comes below that 70%, makes it valid. Okay, this makes it valid. So that is our evening star. And again, as there is a evening star, there should also be an inverted version, and the inverted version is going to be our morning star. So morning stars, we're going to be able to identify these at the bottom of the market on bullish market structure. And when it comes to our morning star, it's conformed by one candle, which the first candle is going to be our bearish candle. The second candle can be a hammer, doji, or indecision, and the third candle must overcome 70% or more. So again, first candle is our bullish, our bearish candle. The second candle can be one of 3, doji, hammer, or indecision candle. Third candle must overcome 70% or more from the overall move. Okay, so this right here is one of my favorite candle patterns. It helps us understand the overall direction of the market, what it is that we can see, and how far we can go and continue with this trade. So this is one of the things that I like to see a lot, and one of the things that I like to go ahead and take a lot in consideration as far as how far I can continue. This one right here gives me a lot of certainty to maintain a trade for much longer. Okay, so this is one of my favorites. Now, going over to the next ones, which is going to be our spinning bottoms, right? Spinning bottoms, understand that the way that this is conformed is very similar to indecision candles. So spinning top bottoms is when you go ahead and have usually 2 or more indecision candles. So you will go ahead and see that you'll have these indecision candles where market's going up, going down, and sometimes we have market going down a little bit, market trying to go up, and so on and so on. So this whole time the market is indecisive, right? It's very indecisive and doesn't know what to do. And that's when we go ahead and understand that this right here is our spinning bottoms. Let's run this. Okay. So when it comes to these spinning bottoms, we find them at the bottom of the market. Okay. And what is that we're looking for? We're looking for 2 or more indecision candles at support levels. Okay, you understand that these are usually at support levels, and these are areas that we want to go ahead and identify these candles. Okay, we want to be able to identify these candles at support levels. So spinning bottoms are going to be 2 or more indecision candles at the bottom of the market. Now when it comes to the opposite of this will be exactly the same thing. We go ahead and invert that, and in this case, spinning tops. Okay, we will be able to identify spinning tops, and these are going to be located not in support levels but in resistance levels. We're going to be looking for these in resistance levels. Okay, spinning tops. Usually we go ahead and start with a green candle, then end up with a red candle, and so on and so on. It continues on repeating itself until it has that full indecision movement. So in this case, it's just back and forth, going up, going down, going up, going down, indecisive, spinning candle, spinning tops. Okay, this next one, which is one that I like to identify a lot. It helps me when it comes to institutional candles, which is our tweezer tops. Tweezer tops are usually, they look very, very similar to spinning bottoms or spinning tops. The only difference is the fact that these ones have volume in them, right? These candles have volume within them, but both candles are usually about the same size. So we have tweezer tops and tweezer bottoms. In this case, tweezer tops are going to be identified, it's by 2 candles, and these 2 candles have volume. Okay, so it's only going to be 2 candles, have volume, and they're usually the same size, okay, with the same volume. And where are these located? These are located in resistance levels. Okay, so when you start identifying this tweezer tops or tweezer bottoms, they're usually at support or resistance levels, and we identify them, and you actually look into price action so well and so in depth, you'll be able to understand that most of these are institutional candles, right? So many of you guys ask, how do you identify institutional candles? How do you know when this is a verified one or not a verified one? Okay, and one of the ways is to go ahead and confirm it by finding this candle with volume. So the same way you have the tweezer tops, you will have the tweezer bottoms. Okay, when it comes to tweezer bottoms, what's going to happen? You're going to look for 2 candles with volume and usually the same size. When it comes to tweezer bottoms, you're usually going to go ahead and start with a red candle and finish off with a green candle. Okay, so when it comes to all these candle patterns I just mentioned, you guys, these are the ones that I usually take in consideration a lot when it comes to trading, because it helps me out when it comes to the psychological aspect to understand how much further I'm going to maintain a trade. Okay, it helps me with the certainty of how much longer I'm going to go ahead and maintain a trade. I want to go ahead and show you guys some examples and show you guys how it is that you're able to maintain trades for much longer when you actually identify these candles. Why it is that you have much better, more certain movement on the market, why you're able to maintain them for much longer, and overall the confidence that you'll be able to obtain out of these candle patterns. Okay, so going to that, let's go ahead and jump right into it and go to the charts itself. Okay, awesome. Give me one quick second. Let me go ahead and close some trades out that got going. That's about right. And this one, that's about right too. Okay. So when it comes to this right here, we're going to go ahead and identify this candle. This candle right here is a tweezer top. Okay. We're able to identify tweezer top. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some of these candles so that way you guys can start identifying them. Tweezer tops, full of volume, market going down, continuing, so I'm pushing down. Now within that, okay, we're able to spot a bearish Mariposa. This candle right here, as you may see, little to no wick on the bottom, and what happens usually ends up with a continuation. So right there, we're able to identify a bearish Mariposa. Coming down over here, what do we spot? We spot a morning star. Okay, a morning star. When we're able to identify this, you can see that this leads us to bullish price action. Okay, leading us to bullish price action. Now here we go to this bearish Mariposa that I spoke about. Bullish Mariposa. This bullish Mariposa is overcoming two previous candles. Now what did I say? I usually wait for a retracement of 50% for that candle. As you can see, market retraces for about 50% of that candle and then comes up somewhat. Okay, so understand that we are looking for bearish price action because overall we are bearish, but I'm showing you guys the whole terminology on how it is that you're able to maintain trades for much longer. Now over here, what are we able to spot? We're able to spot our tweezer tops, right? Tweezer tops, full volume, usually same size, movement to the downside. Now, tweezer tops doesn't mean you get in with those tweezer tops, but it tells you to start investigating or to know that this is going to be an important area for the market to come back and retrace into. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put this because this is how the market is right now. Okay. So, right now, what am I identifying? Right? We're able to see that market is going up. We have this evening star, bearish Mariposa, comes up, test, bearish, and so on and so on. Okay. Coming over here, what are we able to identify? We're able to identify evening star. And that evening star led us to bearish movement. Okay, so these patterns help you understand how much longer you can maintain a trade. Look at this over here. What do you have? A 4-candle variation. Right? The 4-candle variation guiding us that there's more than likely a continuation, and there exactly is that continuation. Okay. These patterns help you have better certainty and more clarity as far as how long you can maintain a trade. Okay. Also, you gotta understand that you gotta be able to see these on the whole overall market structure. So if we're bullish, we're looking for bullish price action. What are we seeing right here? It's bullish, and we see bullish price action, 3-candle variation. Market came down, retraced, and then fled off. Okay. But look at this. Why did the market retrace all the way down over here? Because this 3-candle variation didn't end up right here. It surpassed these two, making this a bullish engulfing candle. So therefore, this 3-candle variation is a 3-candle variation with a bullish engulfing candle, meaning that it can potentially retrace at least 50% and then continue going up. So you see, price action is very, very important when it comes to you putting it into your trading. Okay. You got to be able to understand that price action is the language of the market. When you're able to understand price action to its fullest, you'll be able to understand how much longer you can maintain a trade. So for example, if you're able to maintain trades for much longer, you'll be able to do it because of the whole price action aspect. In this case, what is price action telling me? Look at this. What do we have? A bearish engulfing candle. So what do I expect? 50% retracement. And then from there, potentially have entry levels. Okay. If we go to the 1-hour time frame, let's go and see what the 1-hour time frame is telling us. Why look at that? We have what? What do we have right here? An evening star. Okay. We have an evening star, market's coming and retracing that evening star. This evening star on 4-hour was a what? What did we have on the 4-hour? Bearish engulfing. Bearish engulfing, 1-hour, evening star. So you see how everything correlates. Price action is helping us know what the market can do. Price action is so crucial, guys. So understand that price action is going to go ahead and help you out on how far you can take your trading into. So with that said, hope you guys were able to go ahead and understand some of the terminology, some price action, and actually now be able to apply it into your trading style. Because price action will go ahead and give you much more certainty on maintaining certain trades. So with that said, thank you guys for jumping on this session. I will definitely see you guys on the next one. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next session.
My idle hands lead to evil thoughts. That's what I was told. I see a devil trying to creep on up. Ain't gonna get inside my soul. So let the demons go and hype me up. Cause motherfucker, I ain't dead till I say so. Cause I've been fighting all my fucking life. So I'ma sin to the motherfucking end. Oh no, oh no, no, don't you understand that I've been going around this world?